Listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday. Culture. Listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday.
Dude, let's fast forward this thing.
Facts unfiltered.
Alrighty.
Power! Let us all unite! Let us fight for a new world!
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go! Yeah, baby! My name is Brian, that is Shane, and you are watching Pop Culture Unleashed. How you doing today, everybody?
That never gets old, man.
Never.
Never gets old. I love it.
My hat, I need my hat. Here we go.
Don't use your hat. You look beautiful without it.
Dude, I put my kid wear my hat. It's clipped all the way through, and I was about to put it on my head, and it just shocked my system how big my fucking head is.
What's up, everybody?
Hey guys,
It's been we missed you guys last week. Brian was not feeling great,
I was not.
But we're back, and there's all kinds of stuff has happened. So
And now we're back from
it'll
outer
be fun.
space.
Dun, 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 dun. With that look upon your face.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so I hope everyone can join us. Oh, my levels are really bad. Let me adjust that. There we go.
You sound weird. Yeah, you sound far away.
I sound far away.
I mean, no, I think it's coming through your mic, but it's
Is that better?
quieter. No, it's weird.
Oh, it is weird. Okay. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Like I get it's not better, but
Oh.
I'm not. Let me ask you guys, how do I sound in my mic right now? I know I started off sounding like really far away, but how about now? How about now?
You sound good.
All right. So we are talking about some cool stuff. We missed all the news. So as customarily with our show and our YouTube career, we're usually pretty late on things. We are going to be talking about some course correcting in Hollywood with the recent news of RDJ playing Doctor Doom, the Deadpool and Wolverine success, the Russo brothers coming back. Marvel seems to be in a state of, I don't know, panic as they try to right the ship, it seems.
I have some evidence too.
Okay.
Like that would show you why it would be a good decision to do so.
Okay. Yeah, okay, and then we're also there's politics on the menu. We're gonna dive a little bit into that because we have to. It's an election year. I know some people don't like that, but it's an election year, and there's some weird things going on. Excuse me, my dog is making noises. Why is the dog making noises?
Weird things going on is an understatement, man. Understatement.
Sorry.
It's an understatement that weird things are going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
You've got pandemonium taking place in Britain. You've got insanity taking place in the United States. I mean, I think I read something the other day, like in Bangladesh, like there's just hordes of people like roaming the streets, raping and killing people. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Strange, man.
Yeah. And then I saw a post that I didn't believe. Like Elon Musk tweeted, "Well, this is happening right now," and you're like, "What?" And you click on it, and it's a video, and I could probably play the clip of the police captain or whatever you call him in England, talking about how they have like a whole unit of police scanning social media to look for people posting criticism about migrants, and then arresting
there's
them.
no free speech over there, guys. Like,
Yeah.
this is the one country that's got it here.
For
But
now.
how much longer is it gonna happen?
For now.
There's a movement, so to speak, that wants to get rid of it.
You know, it's funny. Every time someone goes, America's not the only free country. I'm like, all right, it's
not the only free country, but it is the only one with
right.
unalienable
Yeah,
free
yes.
right.
If you want to use the lightest sense of the word free, but free speech, the First and Second Amendment, those two things is what makes America stand out. And, you're seeing in other countries why those amendments are important. All right. What else are we talking about? Gina Carano beat Disney. That's a pretty big one.
Well, so, I mean, kind of. Like, she's going to get her day in court. Disney tried to make it so that didn't happen, and she's going to get her day in court. And we're going to get to learn a whole bunch of stuff about what happened with her, because we're going to have witnesses that could include some famous people.
Ooh.
Yeah. It could be Johnny Depp, Amber Heard part 2.
Hey, yeah. Johnny Depp, the remix.
The remix. Somebody's shitting on somebody's bed. That's all I can tell.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Then Section 31. I know we were gone when that happened, when that dropped, but we watched it, and
we have some thoughts.
Also, there is a Star Trek comedy series coming. And it pisses me off so much when they're like, we don't have any bandwidth for Star Trek Legacy because we're doing all these other projects. And then they announce a Star Trek comedy series from the writer of Dear White People. And you're like, wait a minute, guys. You said you didn't have enough space for Star Trek Legacy. Oh, I guess we don't. I guess we have the space if we're gonna scream virtual signal all day long.
It means they don't have the money. That's something I'm gonna show you guys too.
Right, and so that's what we're talking about today. It's gonna be a fun show, chocked full of all kinds of comedy and rants and information and news. And hope you guys enjoy this. Real quick, someone asked in Discord when we're doing this the Voyager prologue series on our other channel. Well, we're going to be doing that soon. I'm working on the video, and I'm desperately trying to get it done by Saturday. It's not looking great right now. I'm about halfway done, and it's taking me like 5 days to get halfway done. I only have a couple more days left. So I'm working on it. If it's not this Saturday, then we'll do the prologue series probably on Monday or Tuesday. So
sounds good. More information afterwards in our members section. We will discuss this more in members.
Okay, well let's jump right into it, my friend.
I'm ready. Let's go.
What topic would you like to start with first?
Well, we got to talk about the main thing here. Make Hollywood entertaining again. And I got to be honest with you. When I saw this headline that you put out here, it is completely 100% accurate. But I'm just fucking tired of the word again. Okay. I'm tired of it. No matter which political party I'm just tired of again things. Okay. I am hashtag MAG. I just want to be clear about this. I'm not hashtag MAGA. I'm hashtag MAG. Do you know what that is?
Make America Great.
Make America greater.
Oh, greater. Okay.
Right. Let's drop the again shit. All right. Let's just make our country great, and let's make Hollywood greater.
Excuse me. But I'm sorry.
All right. Well, he can take off because Hollywood has not been. But this is actually pretty accurate because Hollywood has not been great in a while. So make Hollywood entertaining again actually makes total sense. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about all the reasons why. But to you guys over here in the chat, I haven't seen you in so long. I feel like I came back. I was gone for 5 weeks. I did one show and then we disappeared last week. So it is really great to see you again. Kenneth LaRoque, member for 11 months. Thank you, brother. Good to see you. We got Lord Toth over here today. We got Jeremy Schneider. Jeremy, I thought about you so much when I was on my trip. Like, I can't fathom how much you have to drive on those freaking crazy interstates out there because it was a huge pain in the butt in my RV.
Sorry about that, guys. My kids are out of school right now, and so everything is harder for me. Everything. And my dog was making a ton of noise, and I go to find out, and my kids aren't here, so I have to find out where they're at real quick.
So wait a sec. So you're home alone with your children, but your kids are not at the house.
No, I don't know where they went.
That sounds like a problem. I'll continue to go down the list. Where it's 2 a.m. Do you know where your kids are? Let's see. Archmage Frey, good to see you here, brother. Danny Rowe, man, long time no see, Danny. Good to see you. Who else we got here? The Ultimate Alien, awesome. And August TV 123. There is no SpongeBob news. I need to take it up with Brian. I don't know what's up with this song, this intro song he has going on for us. I've got some problems with it, but we'll work on that. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about, I can't share any screens or do anything because Brian has control of all that stuff. But a couple things that we can talk about are, let's see. You guys watch the Olympics? Perhaps? Is anybody watching the Olympics besides that crazy stuff?
I'm sorry, guys.
God. Did you find your kids?
Yeah, they were outside in the front yard, hanging out like hooligans, leaning up against the wall, smoking cigarettes. No, I'm kidding. They weren't smoking cigarettes, but they might as well be. It reminded me of me.
What were they doing? Hiding?
Waiting for their friend or something.
All right.
My dog never makes any noises ever, but she's in there like. And now I figured out why, because the kids went outside.
When we were kids, we did that all the time, and our parents had no idea where we were. So
yeah, I gotta know where you're at.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah,
different time. I was asking them if they had seen. I talked about all kinds of weird stuff while you're gone because I realized I have absolutely no control over the show or how to show anything or do anything. So when you leave, it's like it's literally just me. So
sorry about that. Okay.
I'm like, you guys see the Olympics? There's you see gymnastics. It's funny. I saw some posts like, I don't know what it is about dudes in the Olympics, like watching all the women's events, like the track and field events. There's so many Twitter posts of just like Norwegian women and.
I mean, dude, like women in the top 1% of their athletic abilities, they're gonna look great.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't blame them.
All right, so where were we at?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that interruption. I apologize. That we're not.
We were talking about making Hollywood entertaining again.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an accurate statement. It needs to be. It used to be entertaining. There was a time it was entertaining. Then it became not entertaining. So this is accurate. Make Hollywood entertaining again. And we're going to start with, well, we did. We started with Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
Yeah. And okay. So if you guys saw our stream a couple weeks ago, like we really enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. It was as self-aware as you can be about Marvel and the state of Hollywood. It was extreme fan service. And there are some critics who complain about that. Oh, it was just fan service, a lot of cameos. Like, yeah, you know what? I think it's about time Hollywood starts to do more fan service.
And they were all under the age of 30.
Right.
Which, because they weren't there originally, then they don't understand. They don't have any connection to nostalgia yet. They're too young.
I get that. But fan service, that when someone criticizes something for fan service, you're saying it served its customers too well. Like, can we stop doing that? Let's serve our we're the customer.
Yeah, the hamburger was too juicy. It tasted too good.
Yeah, right? It didn't have enough bougie on it or whatever.
Didn't have enough filler and additives.
Yeah, let's stop with that. Let's start actually. If Hollywood wants to serve its customers, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. In the words of Bernie Sanders, that's a good thing. So we should do that. So we saw the movie and it was very good. It was good. It wasn't, an Oscar winning. It wasn't some kind of really thought inducing thing. It wasn't something it was entertaining. It was an entertaining popcorn blockbuster and it served its customers. And it did serve up some member berries and stuff like that, but I don't think it was heavy. I think it worked. And when you look at the ratings online, you see some of the most bougie, out of touch critics there are complaining about it. You're like, okay, my feelings have been validated because they hate it, and I hate everything they love. So this works.
Well, it makes you wonder, what would they have wanted to see in the movie to make it better? Like they said, there wasn't enough emotion in it. I mean, I would argue that ending was extraordinarily emotional when it took both of them to complete the circuit to stop that was very emotional.
Yeah.
So I'm confused by some of this weird rhetoric.
Not only was it emotional, but it actually it it was like, well, it just served the ending that they were both together. Like, yeah, sure it did. But it also made sense. It also fit the entire theme of, from the very beginning of the movie to the end, it fit. So yeah, you know what? You're complaining that it worked too well. Like, that's insane to me.
It's too funny. It's too good. Yeah, there is some issues, but it is also representative. You know, now as we look at worldwide, it's gone over. It's about to go over 900 million.
Yeah, it's going to hit $1 billion this weekend.
Yeah, it'll hit $1 billion this weekend. I mean, it's obviously successful, and you know, we need to talk about it because in the future, about Comic-Con came around this time here. When Comic-Con happened, we got the news that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to play Doctor Doom, right?
Right.
And we got the news that the Russo brothers are coming back to direct Avenger movies.
Right.
Now, when were Avenger movies great? When was Marvel great? When the Russo brothers were directing.
Yeah, Civil War, Infinity War,
right?
So, Endgame, right?
You know, so that's making Marvel great again, to borrow that term from Brian. So
I'm gonna bring that back. I'm gonna get a hat made. Make Marvel great again.
We're bringing RDJ is coming back. You know, even though he's playing a completely different role. You know, he's making $80 million, which is unbelievable to be. You know they need. You know, they want to right the ship when they're going to pay RDJ $80 million to come back as a bad guy.
Yeah. This is how I think that phone call went, right? Listen, Rob, we got this Deadpool and Wolverine movie coming out. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's going to give us a lot of good buzz. But we have been really struggling. Movies, pretty much every movie after you died has, or your character died, I should say, has completely failed and blown up on our faces. We're going to need you to come back and put the armor on again. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. Like, listen, we really need Iron Man back. He goes, nah, I mean, I won't do it. Okay, well, you know what? Anything? You want to play any character? We don't really care. He goes, you know, I've always liked Dr. Doom. Like, done. And RDJ hears in this backyard, dude, as the dump truck full of money is being emptied into his garage.
Right. Yeah, and that's basically it. So it looks like they're trying to go back to the hits, which when studios start to do that, it's a admission that they've recognized something went wrong and now they're trying to fix it. And if you look at, you know, Chris Gore recently was talking about, you know, Chris Gore has really good, excellent insider information. He was talking about the fact that a bunch of people at Marvel have been let go. A lot of the ideologues, a lot of the people who were activists have been let go. And so you're probably going to see a shift back to what made Marvel work so great. And, you know, what do we have for upcoming movies? You know, we've got these upcoming Avengers movies. I mean, but they're also dabbling in, you know, to be curious to see what happens with the Fantastic Four. Right?
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people are criticizing it. They don't like the casting of Pascal. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
the man. You know, Reed Richards. But I do believe that, casting aside, that movie can do really well. The creative team behind it are really.
He's a good actor, though. Let's be clear.
Oh yeah.
Here. Like, I understand people don't like the casting.
Pedro Pascal. Thank you.
Pedro Pascal's even no matter how you feel about the guy,
right?
He's a good actor. So
he's a good actor. Yeah,
it's not shot. It's not a done deal. I mean, it's really going to take. What are they doing with the whole team?
Right. It's going to be the writing. It's going to be the writing.
It's going to be the writing
because you have the creative team behind WandaVision and other things. Like they understand that aesthetic, the Fantastic Four retro style aesthetic. So they get that. The aesthetic's going to be on point. The actual setting is going to be probably great. The actors are all very good. So all it comes down to is the writing. If the writing is good, rock and roll.
I think you're right. And Vanessa Kirby as Susan Storm, she's a good actress.
She's great.
She's going to be fine.
Yeah. Listen. What? Remember what they were talking about before? They were saying Susan Storm is going to be, and they had all this list of actors prior to the actual casting, and it was all, you know, DEI style stuff. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of race bending stuff. It was off. It was crazy. Like the news that was coming out. I remember we were reporting it, thinking like, how in the world can you have how can you change these characters like this? Well, guess what? They didn't. Like, none of the characters, except for maybe Pedro Pascal, are really outside. And even Pedro Pascal is like a light, a light. He doesn't fit the casting, but, it's not a woman. You know what I mean? It's not like they gender bent him.
I mean, they're staying true to the characters, I think, in this.
It's pretty close.
I mean, even if you go back to 2015, you had the character of Johnny Storm was played by Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, and people didn't like that, but I bet you if it was a better actor, because Michael B. Jordan's not a good actor. I'm sorry.
But my point is that they kind of stuck to
I lost
racial typicals here.
Right. Yes. You're right.
I reset you got it. Okay. I reset my computer. I'm not allowed to be lost this time.
Okay. You're back.
I'm back. Okay, cool. So I think, that's something to look out for. If we take a look and here's a good reason that we think that at least when it comes to movies, I'm not going to say so for TV shows, the writing is on the wall. Like if you look at 2024 worldwide box office right now, if you take a look at what's happened in 2024 and what movies have been popular, of course, you've got Inside Out 2, right? Which, I mean, listen, Inside Out 2 was going to be huge. It's already at 1.5 billion. The first movie was a groundbreaking animation, totally unique idea on the concept of, people living inside your head and telling you what to do. You knew the second one was going to be huge. And that's definitely the top movie of the year right now. Deadpool and Wolverine is number 2. Despicable Me is number 3. Dune Part 2, Godzilla and King Kong, Kung Fu Panda 4. What does this tell you? People are tired of woke bullshit.
Right.
In Hollywood. What are the top movies? All these movies are straight up movies. There's nothing weird in these movies. There's no messages. There's no number 8, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And number 7, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Number 8, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 9, Twisters. I saw Twisters. Really good movie.
Yeah, Twisters was. I'm sorry. Stop that there for a second. Twisters was surprisingly good.
It was. I did not expect it to be as good as the original.
I didn't expect it to be good. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like some crappy rehash. I gotta say, Glenn Powell is pretty great.
Right. I didn't see him in that romantic comedy that like really like notched him out there. I don't give a shit about that.
I don't care.
but I saw him in this, and I'm like, whoa, that dude's got some charisma.
He was great, dude. Like I can totally see him as a leading man. I was like, what? Like I want to see more of this character. Can the whole movie be about his character, please?
Yeah, if he can play more than like a daddy on screen, then we'll see. But right now that's what he is.
You just call him a daddy?
Yeah. He's rubbed off on me, man. What can I say? And then number 10 is A Quiet Place Day One, which was actually pretty good, although it didn't answer all the questions I wanted. There was some superb acting in it.
No, yeah. So it didn't answer a lot of questions.
It didn't answer any questions.
Yeah, as someone who was like, you guys. I'm trying to watch. Shane told me to watch A Quiet Place. He told me to watch these movies. They're really great.
They are. I mean, they're good.
And I go to watch these movies, and I'm thinking, well, it's okay. All the questions I had are going to be answered in day one.
The prequel, right?
And they're not.
Not even one fucking question.
No one question.
Where do they come from? Okay, why are they here? Give us some information.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go more sci-fi and less horror, and it just stuck with the horror, man.
I mean, we've already, like I said, we already seen that movie. So if you haven't seen Quiet Place Day One, it's interesting, good acting, great character development, but the story is the same as basically the first and the second one.
Right.
The Garfield movies, 11. So right up until, in your top 10 or 11 movies so far this year, all straight up movies, right? No agenda based. This is what's making all the money.
Dude, I would argue the first 20, like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that was an homage to the original. There's no message. If was actually a very interesting.
It got close on the message.
It got close. It did. But they didn't land it. It's like they're coming in for that plane. It's like, we're going to touch ground. They're like, no, keep going. It's not safe. And they pulled the landing gear out, but they didn't come down. If, which is called Imaginary Friends, was actually a surprisingly touching movie. My kids were crying, which was hilarious.
Look at most of these are family movies, man. A lot of family movies here.
The Fall Guy.
Fall Guy got shafted, man.
It got totally shafted. That was a good movie.
That is a really good movie. And if you were a fan of the TV show in the early '80s, you get the theme song at the end of the movie. I was so stoked about that.
I would argue that I would argue up until like
Mean Girls
at
20.
I think it's pretty message free. So what does that tell us?
Because you got Mean Girls at 20, Madam Web at 21.
Yeah, Madam Web is like
Argyle at 23. Look at Argyle at 23.
That sucks that Argyle didn't make that. I actually
No, I think Argyle was a problem.
No, but I ended up after like my second viewing of Argyle, I said I think I like Argyle.
No, the movie itself isn't the problem. It's the marketing message. It's the bait and switch. That was the problem.
The bait and switch. Yeah, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is constantly the poster. Literally, he's literally the poster boy.
Yeah,
and then he's on the poster, and then he's not the character you're going to watch.
Right. Well, they were punished for making that choice. That's why the movie only made $96 million. So, I mean, so they're straight up. The movies that are coming in the future, the ones that are looking at now, they got some issues here. Captain America, Brave New World. But the thing is all of these were in production before I felt like there was this U-turn made. So the first half of 2025 movies might still be a little like, what's going on here? But I think by 2026, you're going to see like these people are tired of losing money, guys. They're tired of it.
Well, yeah, you see that newest report that came out. The streaming services apparently miscalculated, and like I guess they lost like $10 billion. Was it?
They accidentally went into the pockets of all of its executives. Oh,
right.
Shucks.
I'm gonna say it again because people seem to think that drives me nuts. Friends of mine on other shows, they go, "Well, streaming service is not a profitable. It's not a profitable business." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It can be." Well, streaming costs a lot of money. Like, no, the servers are not what's costing them the money. The content, the content people are watching is not what's costing them money. It's the new content that no one wants to watch because it's chocked full of the message, and the fact that you're paying your executives an insane amount of money to do effectively nothing. If you want to be profitable, just look at Netflix. Netflix knows how to be profitable. Every one of these streaming services should be just copying Netflix.
Well, please don't do that. I don't like Netflix's content, but
I'm not
you're
saying
right.
other content, but like
that's why
their business plan. Yeah, I mean, like it's not the servers. People are like, it's cost so much money for servers. Guys, Shay and I ran a server company, right? We know what servers cost, and I'm telling you right now, this is not what's bankrupting them. What they're losing money on is making crap content that no one wants to watch. It's classic Hollywood. It's just a different medium now. If you make $1 billion movie and only 100 million people watch it, then you're not making enough money. So you have to budget your content better. Rings of Power cost how much money?
I don't think we should even discuss it. It's scary. It's just billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. And most people hated it. And how did they respond? Let's make
a season
two.
Let's double down on this bitch.
Think about this. How in the world can you effectively be profitable if you keep doing the things that are costing you money and not making you money?
Yeah.
So and I don't think it takes a couple of guys on YouTube to figure this out. Like they know this.
No, it might actually. Well, they've promises, what people want. I mean, let's take Star Trek for example. Here's a great segue. Let's take Star Trek for example.
Yeah.
Why is Star Trek so bad?
My blood pressure just spiked. When you said Star Trek, it was like this. I got hypertension. My arms started to get numb.
Why is Star Trek so bad? Well, there's several reasons. one of the reasons, the biggest reason, is because Alex Kurtzman had a vision for what he wanted to do, and come hell or high water, he was going to do that, and he wasn't going to be derailed.
Right.
That's it. But he also ran into a few issues. One of the news articles, I sent it over to you. I don't know if you want to pull it up. We won't go through the whole thing, but Paramount is going to lay off 15% of its workforce, about 2,000 employees. Fresh round of cuts. Why are they doing this? They're in the process of likely merging with Sundance or Skydance Media because they're broke. The reason why Star Trek Discovery was cut early was because they couldn't afford to make it. It's an expensive show. The reason I would like to tell you that the reason Star Trek Legacy isn't being made is because they can't afford it, but there's more to it than that.
Oh, there's a lot more to it. Yeah. Because there's the message is still very much ripe in Paramount. Like it's infecting Paramount right now.
Right. And they could have actually taken Star Trek Legacy and done all the message things that they wanted to do with it. But the bottom line is, it's an expensive show.
Right.
And Alex didn't want Terry Matalas being thought of as the golden knight of Star Trek. He didn't want him basically taking his job. But what are they doing in the meantime? So Star Trek's got to keep going, right? Alex Kurtzman got paid millions of dollars. He's got to keep putting out content.
Right.
But the problem is that he doesn't have a ton of money. So what's he going to do? He's going to do stuff that he thinks works, right? So he's always wanted to do Starfleet Academy. It was coming no matter what. He's had I don't know why he's had a hard on for the show. I think he thinks it can be like some sort of CW.
He wants to copy, Gilmore Girls, right. Riverdale, Supernatural. He wants to copy how effective the CW was in cultivating an audience that went on to do conventions, and it's like every one of those shows was like a mini Star Trek in the way it cultivated a fan base.
Well, and you think about it, like the problem is, okay, so look at Starfleet Academy, right? What else can you do with Starfleet Academy? You can make it cheap because you don't have to go to space, right? They're basically at a college, right? So you can shoot it cheap. You can
shoot it at the abandoned high school down the street,
right? You don't have to, science fiction-y this thing up like you do Star Trek Discovery. Now they're getting ready to do this comedy, right? And why are they doing a Star Trek comedy, right? Because Strange New World season 2 really went well. That was a funny Star Trek.
Dancing Klingons, everyone likes that. And
people really like Lower Decks. So let's just make a sitcom for Star Trek. So you can do this cheaply. Live action comedy series in development. So live action comedy series. Listen, I throw open my mouth when I think of Star Trek and comedy. Like I do, because Star Trek, and this is if this is what Star Trek becomes, then that's, I guess, what it can be. But Star Trek to me has always been, a serious show. It's always been, relatively
you can have comedy in Star Trek, but you have to stay reverent to Star Trek.
Right. That's the trick. And, Brian and I, of course, been working on this big project, which we'll talk about more in the member section. But essentially, the reason why Star Trek, for a lot of us fans, Star Trek has to have somebody carrying. This is not the first time you've heard this from me. Star Trek has to have somebody carrying the mantle. They have to be carrying Gene Roddenberry's vision. And I think with any IP, like right now, the Alien Romulus movie is coming out next week, right? So the guy Fede who decided who asked to direct this movie, to make this movie, is kind of taking it over from what's his name? I just totally drew a blank. The Alien creator.
Ripley.
Yeah. No, not Ripley.
Not Ripley.
That's a character.
That's a character.
You got it right. It's R. I don't know why I'm drawing
something with an R.
Somebody save me in the chat.
Someone tell us in the chat who made Alien.
I don't know why this legendary
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. So Ridley Scott, he gave it up. He said, "Okay, I'm going to let this director do it." But the new director it was very important to him that he stayed within the vision of Ridley. Now, Ridley's made some jacked up movies of his own franchise.
Sure,
that haven't been great.
Not perfect.
But it's going to be an alien movie that's based on, Ridley's vision, because this guy wants to do it the way Ridley Scott does movies.
Right.
And Ridley Scott said, this is a great movie. We haven't seen it yet, but it definitely lines up with his vision. For Star Trek with Gene Roddenberry, he's the guy who came up with the vision of Star Trek.
Right.
And before he died, he handed that over to Rick Berman. And Rick Berman, for whatever reason, said, I want to do it the exact same way Gene Roddenberry did it.
Right.
And when Berman hired Michael Piller to be his assistant, Piller said, we're going to do it the same way that Roddenberry did it.
Right.
And so all the TV shows from Star Trek, the original series, to TNG, to Deep Space Nine, to Voyager, and eventually Enterprise, which, it got a little bit further from the thing. You got to understand, like, Terry Matalas was a part of that original franchise. He believed in what Star Trek was created. He believed in Roddenberry's vision. And when he made Star Trek Picard season 3, that's why we felt so connected and attached to it. When Alex Kurtzman came along, and he was given Star Trek, he has no loyalty to Gene Roddenberry's vision. He doesn't believe in that vision. He believes Star Trek to be what he wanted it to be, and his community of voices have made it what it is. And that's why Star Trek has changed so much. And so for me, I don't like Star Trek like this, because it doesn't stay with the creator. It isn't what Star Trek was created originally to be. It can go off to be other things, but to me, comedy is not what it is. And unfortunately, I don't think you're ever going to see a Star Trek legacy, at least as long as Kurtzman is still there, because he doesn't want to give it up to Terry. Terry's now doing Marvel. He's doing a Vision series, which I'm going to keep him busy for. I'd much rather see him doing Star Trek, but anyways,
right.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. And the thing about this, everything you said is 100% correct, but what drives me nuts about this Star Trek comedy series, and I'll tell you right now, and just to really bring this home, is the writer-director that they chose for this. So you have writer-actor Tawny Newsome. She was the voice actor for a character from Lower Decks, the main character. But then the real head of this is writer-director Justin Simone. I can't say his last name. Simone. He is famous for 2 projects, Dear White People and Haunted Mansion. Hey, Shane, how was Haunted Mansion?
That was really bad.
Did you enjoy that film?
No, it was really, really bad.
It was
bad. With knockoff Dave Chappelle. That's right.
It was knockoff Dave Chappelle.
That's right.
It wasn't scary. It wasn't funny. It's like, okay, look, if you want to make a scary movie, then make a scary movie. You want to make comedy, make comedy. If you want to make a movie that's not scary or funny or dramatic, then what you just have is a wet noodle, just a flopping fish on dry land. It had nothing important happen to that movie. Didn't make anyone laugh, didn't make anybody afraid, and the logic in the movie didn't even make sense. Like, everything the characters did made no sense. And then you look at Dear White People. Dear White People was only popular for a brief time because of how insanely racist it was.
Well, I mean,
the writing wasn't good. It wasn't funny. It wasn't scary. It wasn't dramatic. It was just really, really racist. And the title drew people and drew out headlines and got people to watch it for a brief time on Netflix. Guess what? It never cracked the top 10. It didn't actually become successful. So this guy has never created anything successful.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be
so why did they hire him to create their Star Trek comedy when he's not funny? He's not. So far, we have not seen anything from this dude who is that's good, that is worthy of Star Trek, for the love of God. I would love just to get into Kurtzman's brain for a second and be like, so why Justin?
Well, he made a promise with him, and he also is in the same social network as he is.
So I watched the
you know how it is.
I watched the Comic-Con panel where it was Kurtzman, Justin Sameen, whatever his name is, and Tony Newsom. And it was so uncomfortable to watch because Justin was like, don't you think we need more black people in Star Trek, Kurtzman? Alex like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
He's like, I'm already doing everything.
Justin standing up and looking down at God, don't you think we need more black people? And Alex like, and Alex has his leg crossed like a woman. He's like, yeah, I think we do. Yeah. It looks so emasculating, bro.
Well, he is emasculated in so many ways. There is some interesting news here. There's things that we need to talk about Star Trek, but
I'll ask Shane for a second.
Real quick, because Jeremy Snyder brought it, and I was going to bring it up. Jeremy Snyder, member for 3 months. Actually, thank you for putting this in here, Jeremy. We're going to talk about it today. There's good news for fandom. It looks like we're getting the Orville season 4, which is 100% true.
It is true, although I don't believe it.
Well, here's the thing. It came from Scott Grimes' mouth.
It did.
So it did.
Right before he started his show at STLV.
It came at STLV, and he revealed it. It's actually, according to, now there's nothing official put out about it, but according to the administrator of the Orville fan page, who already knew about it, apparently, this is, they're going to start production in 2025, early.
Yeah. So this is why I don't, I'll believe it when I see it. And versus me saying like, yay, confirmed, cheer. Because I watched the cell phone video of him saying this, which I can't find anymore, which means that
it's gone.
Internet scrubbed it.
Yeah.
And he was like, good news. And he's like playing, like, we're gonna be shooting Orville season 4 next year sometime.
Well,
that was pretty much it, and then he starts playing.
Well, Seth's not happy with him because Scott wasn't supposed to say anything. But why is this good news? If you're a fan of the Orville, it's good news because whether or not it actually happens, you know one thing. Seth is trying to make it happen. And this is the first time Seth has tried to make it happen, right? Since season 3 ended. Because Seth wasn't going to put up his own cash again.
That's true.
Like, he put up his money for season 3. He took risk to do that.
And they effectively lost money then.
And the thing is he put his heart into season 3. You can tell that was all him. There was some COVID ridiculous. There was some derangement syndrome.
Yeah, there was a little TDS. Yeah.
But it was all him, and it was all of his heart. So he wasn't going to do a season 4 out of his own pocket, which means there is somebody who wants to do it.
That's true.
And it also means that there's a more likely chance than not that it's going to happen because he told Scott. You know what I'm saying?
And him and Scott are good friends. Like,
they are very good friends.
If you see, Seth does a lot. Scott works for Seth a lot. Works with, I should say.
Well, of course, yeah, they're buddies.
They're friends, and like from Ted to 100 Ways to Die in the West to
everything.
A lot of Seth projects, you'll see Scott, or you will hear Scott's voice. We had Scott on our show, like 2 years ago?
Yeah,
and we got him to say in Steve Smith's voice, "You gotta check out the podcast; they're amazing."
I'm just surprised Jay Lee didn't beat him out with it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, see, and that's something too. Like, I follow Jay Lee, and Jay Lee seems surprised by this news.
I think Scott did it because he thought, I'm in a safe environment. Nobody's videotaping me. I can say it to a small group of people.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have video cameras here.
Yeah, always being video.
Yeah, they said no cameras allowed, and someone didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care. So that's good news. I'm really happy for JP over at Egotastic Fun Time.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get his channel rolling again. So, I mean, I really do hope this is happening. I still love the Orville. There's some parts of season 3 that I didn't like, but overall I'd love to see where they keep going with that. And of course we're friends with the people who make it. So it'd be good.
It's not just good for JP, it's good for us.
Finally something we can actually talk about that we don't hate. So
we don't hate. We know the people over there. We get screeners for the stuff. It's great. It's good for us.
Yeah, so there's another indication of good programming that we would enjoy that will be back. So,
now,
I mean, it's more indications that...
I have some questions, though.
All right.
I'm sorry to stay on this topic, but I do have some questions, and maybe you can shed some light on them, Shane.
I'll do my best. What you got?
We know for a fact the sets were struck, which is a cool way of saying destroyed.
They might have been put away.
Some might have gone to storage, but the big sets, there's no, like, the storage fees are outlandish.
We talked about that, and that's true, but I find it very hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe that they're going to recreate all that again.
Dude, because we were
like, I would have bet it would never happen.
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna tell you.
Somebody went and paid some cash to get those back.
Shane and I were there. We were on the Orville, the ship. We have pictures. I guess I gotta find them somewhere. But it's huge. I mean, when I say huge, massive. It's like a gigantic jumbo jet. They actually built the Orville in the middle of what appeared, the set, which is basically a giant plane hangar. It's massive. So when they said, looks like the sets were struck, we're like, oh, well, that's it. Orville's done. Like, because recreating that is going to cost a fortune.
Somebody held on to those. There's just no way they're going to recreate them.
All right. Yeah. So here we go. This is us. I have it. I have a shot of us on the Orville. I was much skinnier then. Oh my God. Jeez, look how skinny I was.
Damn, dude. Look at how skinny you were.
Yeah, I was so skinny.
I'm still about the same.
Yeah, no, you've maintained your weight, your healthy weight.
But I no, not healthy. But yeah.
But so we were there. It's huge. It's massive. It's not just the giant ship, but they created shuttles. Like the hangar bay of the Orville is there. Huge sound stages. So when it was struck, we're like, all right, well, that's it. The Orville's over. And another weird thing is that Hulu is now owned by Disney.
Right.
So it's no longer a Fox thing. I guess there's a tangential relationship between Fox, Disney
owns Fox.
Yeah, Disney, Fox, and Seth. But Seth hates them. Like, he hates Fox.
He hates Fox, but he likes Disney.
Very odd. So you think so here's the questions.
Yeah.
A, are they going to rebuild all those sets, or are we going to see a lot of CGI now? And B, and the second question is, where will it be, Peacock or Disney Plus?
Wow, great question. I think it'll end up a Disney Plus thing. As we know, Seth owns the Orville, the rights to the Orville, so he can take it anywhere he wants. Here's some dates to be looking out for. So tomorrow, the Disney D23 fan event takes place. So you might get an announcement there if Disney's doing it. But even more importantly, New York Comic Con begins October 17th. And I promise you, if you don't hear about it, then you're going to hear about it there. If it's really going into pre-production, early 2025, and it's a done deal, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, New York Comic Con. Yeah. And remember, the season 2 announcement was New York Comic Con.
It was. You're right.
It was. Yeah,
it was. And I guess we need to reach out to a couple people to find out. They're not going to tell us right now, but we might be able to get some non-official,
and we have some friends that work on the that we still have friends that work on the lot. Like, they can tell us, hey, is there an Orville?
Well, we got friends who worked on the show who will definitely be coming back.
Right. That's true.
We could find out. Possibly, I don't know if we'll be able to share it with you guys, but we'll definitely find out what we can, and what we can share, we'll share.
Yes, we will. Okay, so let's do some super chats because they're starting to pile up. Thank you guys. I appreciate the super chat pile up. Number one, yes, John Burns for 279. He says Tropic Thunder showed RDJ play Britney in a biopic. So, famously, RDJ played an African American in Tropic Thunder. He might be the only person to ever do that and not get canceled.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: is at the time we weren't canceling people for that stuff yet,
Mhm.
but it was getting close.
It was good as close, yeah.
But it's like you can't
I think it's funny.
you can't get mad at him now.
Whenever
Like,
they bring it up, they're like, "You played someone in blackface." He goes, "Yes," and it was hilarious.
But they also made fun of the fact, like it wasn't like he was playing somebody blackface.
Right.
It's that there was another black guy there to like
He
make
goes-
fun of him playing blackface.
He said, "What do you mean, you people?" The guy's like, "What do you mean, you people?"
Right. So it made it okay, I think, because there was somebody to say this isn't right. You know what I mean?
Right. Chappie for $20. Thank you, Chappie. What up, bros? Nothing really to say except thanks for what you do. Been a while since I caught you guys live, but I watch every stream on rerun. Also, EFF no to comedy Star Trek. Yeah, F no. Yeah. Comedy
Thanks,
Star
man.
Trek by the hilarious guy who brought you Dear White People. Like, what world are we living in?
I'm so sorry. It's like Star Trek and comedy to me just doesn't sound right. Like, look, the Orville worked. It was funny. Like season 1 was a little bit too funny.
A little too
probably
funny.
in season 1.
Yeah.
But season 2 was like smooth. It was funny and it had all the right. It's what it is.
Right.
Star Trek's just not a funny. It's not a funny IP.
It's not.
So
not.
I mean the cartoon.
I mean, it can
thing,
have
it's perfect.
comedy,
It's a
but
cartoon.
It's a cartoon, yeah. And like again, if you were gonna do a comedy Star Trek, if you were gonna go boldly, like we're gonna make this comedy Star Trek, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, get someone funny to write it.
But how does it impact like the greater universe?
Right?
You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to imagine a show. Like, could you imagine the Cosby Show, but done like serious, like as a drama?
Oh wait! Have you not
what I mean?
seen the Cosby Show with the laugh track removed?
No.
Oh my god, Shane! Everyone after this stream have to go look up. There's two things: the
Do it in the member section.
Big Bang Theory and the Cosby Show with the laugh track removed, because it is creepy. Because it'll be
Okay.
like, okay, little miss, and then he pauses for a laugh track that's not there, and he just
Yeah.
lingers his eyes on him, like,
Wow.
and all of a sudden it goes from like funny to horror show.
Oh, interesting. All
It's
right.
crazy. No, I get what you're saying, bro, but like. The thing is, like, take that aside. Like, okay, they're gonna make comedy Star Trek. At the very least, if you're gonna make comedy Star Trek, hire someone that's funny. They hired someone that has no track record for success. How do you expect to be successful when you hire all these duds?
I think when you try to do comedy Star Trek, you fail before you even start.
That's a good point.
I just think you fail because the IP is not funny. Like, when you create something, it's either a drama or it's funny or maybe a little bit of both. Star Trek was never funny ever.
I mean, there's
Like-
funny stuff in Star Trek. That's
But like what? Give me an example. of something
there's funny jokes. Like one of the most classics, TOS, when half the interactions between Kirk and Spock were pretty humorous.
But no, they weren't, bro. I mean, I get what you're
Half.
saying. Like, there's a moment of like where Spock raises his eyebrow and they're like, but that's not comedy. That's levity in a
As the
drama.
guy who injects all the comedy clips into our video, and I have 4 million of them, there's a lot of comedy in Star Trek, but they're
What I'm
not
trying to say
comedy
is
shows.
There's levity in drama, not comedy.
That's true. Levity. I guess
Comedy
you're right.
is the act of trying to make people laugh. Do you think they were trying to make people laugh when Spock raised an eyebrow, or were they trying to get like a change of emotion? You know what I mean? I just think there's a difference between telling jokes and, like I think that Strange New World season 2, the episode where Spock loses his ears and becomes human, is a comedy.
Yeah,
Like
it's a comedy.
Like, they tried to make people laugh.
It's Freaky
I think.
Friday Vulcan edition.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like the sense I get is like,
Did
what
you-
am I watching? It's so weird.
Did you watch the
You know?
the first look at season 3 of Strange New Worlds?
Oh no. I when the Klingons started singing and dancing, I fucking quit. That was it, man.
So
I
the
just
the first
no.
the first look
I won't.
has the crew being turned into Vulcans
I can't.
for
I
some
can't even
reason,
look at it.
and they're a bunch of all of a sudden they're a bunch of assholes. It's pretty bad. Like when you watch this, it's pretty bad. It's like, what are we doing? Like
Well, they're trying to capitalize.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make, wait. So like, why are they acting Vulcan all of a sudden? They're like, this is not a visual change. This is like all of a sudden they become visually Vulcan, and so all of a sudden their emotions, their thoughts, everything is Vulcan. This doesn't make any sense. None of this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's Star Trek. Strange New Worlds is basically becoming a comedy that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, it's because of the success of Lower Decks. Kurtzman went Lower Decks. God damn, who would have guessed?
People like Lower Decks. We're making more Lower Decks.
More Lower Decks.
But now
we're gonna get rid of Lower Decks, and we're going to make more.
We're going to get rid of Lower Decks and make more Lower Decks. Which, you know what? That makes sense. Everyone likes Lower Decks. Okay, let's cancel Lower Decks and then make other versions of Lower Decks. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, Ian Smelt for $1.99. Thank you.
Real quick, just before you do Ian's, Jeremy Schneider, thank you for gifting the One Pop Culture Unleashed membership.
Appreciate
Sir,
that, bro.
we appreciate it. That was given to Lord Toth, and Lord Toth gave an LOL. I love
Lord
that.
Toth.
It was probably Penny trying to get it. Jeremy's trying to be kind.
Ian Smith for $1.99 says, be ready for poorly written woke LD spinoff. Yeah. Like a woke, a Dear White People Lower Decks. That's what we're going to get.
Also from Ian Smith, member for 4 months. Thank you for being a member, Ian. I don't know what pissed me off more, the Strange New World sneak peek or the Girl Boss trailer for Section 31. Trek is dead to me.
Oh my God.
I'll stick to the old stuff. Hey,
and we're going to play a little bit of the Section 31 trailer in the member section because it's really, it's not Star Trek. It's crazy. They got the red and yellow. It looks like a Borderlands trailer or something.
Ian, you and I are on the same freaking page, man. So
Graph Web for $2 for sakes. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. I think they're going to cancel themselves pretty soon. They're losing so much money. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Graph Web. John Burns for $2.79. Oh, great. More Brian questions. Come on. I have good questions.
Give me a good question, Brian, about anything right now. Good.
I'll give you a good question. You want a good question?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would they cancel Lower Decks, which cost a fraction of the amount of money that a live action version of Lower Decks would cost? Any reason?
Because they wanted Tawny Newsome to be live action. That's it. Tawny Newsome is the new star of Star Trek.
She's the new Michael Burnham.
She's the new Michael Burnham. And they wanted her to be live action. So that's what's happening.
How are they going to do that, though? Didn't they already introduce her as live action as her character from Lower Decks?
Yeah, she'll play a different character somehow. It'll be weird.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. Okay.
It's going to be bad, dude. I'm here for the train crash.
Here's the train. The dumpster fire.
When it wrecks and Skydance Media goes, why did we fucking buy this thing?
Why did we buy this?
You'll know.
Michael Nemo for $5. Thank you, Michael Nemo. The sets sounds like the same thing that happened for the Batman 66 show. A second network was going to continue it, but the sets were destroyed. Interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I loved Batman TV series when I was a kid. That has a lot to do with why shows never come back. It's because the sets are usually destroyed. Look at Stargate.
Stargate. Yeah, that's why Stargate never happened.
It's struggling. There was a great article by Gate World that they put out. They factored in some new information about why it's so difficult to get a Stargate show to happen, and I really, really like that article. Maybe we can talk about it later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, because there were a lot of attempts at bringing Stargate back by like Joe Flanagan and the creators, and it was going to cost so much money because the sets were struck.
I love Joe.
I do. I like Joe too. I recently saw him. He played like a general or something. He's starting to look his age, man.
I love Joe, but Joe's crazy too. So
yeah, it's a good kind of crazy though.
It's a good crazy. It's not a bad crazy.
It's a good crazy. Like there's good crazy and there's bad crazy. I think Joe's a good.
He got really lucky to get Stargate Atlantis. Let's just put it that way.
He did.
Really lucky.
But he showed that he can be that leading man.
Well, just for that show.
Just for that show.
Absolutely nothing
He
else.
never continued anything past
He
that.
could have done Stargate Atlantis forever, for sure.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Kenneth the Rogue for $50. Kenneth the Rogue coming with the woo. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thanks, Ken. Man.
He says maybe they kept the sets and all they have to do is put it back together.
I believe that's what it is.
That's what other people have said that. But remember the storage costs? We did this video.
We did. It didn't make sense. But Seth, you know what also didn't make sense? Seth MacFarlane paying for season 3.
You think you just paid to have it stored?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Like fiscally, it doesn't make any sense because storing it would cost more than just keeping it up.
Well, storing it, now depending on how long you stored it for, would cost more than remaking. But at this point, it hasn't cost more. Like we assumed that if a season 4 came back, it would be 5 years from now. And we said by then you might as well just make new shit. But now we're talking about what, 2 years? So
yeah, 2 years.
It's feasible.
I guess you're right. We're on the end. We're on the edge of it costing more or it costing less. Like we're right there. Like by the time they start shooting it, it's probably a wash on whether or not they keep it.
But here's the thing. It's also tough because if he wants the continuity, like recreating the sets perfectly like they were is hard to do. So,
they can just do what Star Trek did. Like the ship got hull damage and they're like, oh, we got retrofit upgrades.
They might have had to do that, but look at what they did painstakingly to bring back the Enterprise D for Picard season 3.
Yeah.
Like that was hard.
Yeah.
To recreate it perfectly.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So
still brings a tear to my eye every time. Beautiful, beautiful. And the music.
Thanks again,
Ken. Thank you, Ken. You fooked that.
Wait, your last name's missing. You fooked that.
Yeah, where's your last name, fooked that?
You know what? He's like, or she's like, whoever this is like.
They're like, he's like, there. She's like, they're like. Thank you, you fooked that. I'm just glad to see you here. I see you on the Salty Saturday show all the time. I never see you here.
No, he's here.
No, recently.
Oh, recently.
We've seen him before, yeah. Hey, you fooked that says I posted fake headlines against Trump on TikTok, and people are stupid and they believe it.
Of course they do.
I said Trump went down on Willie Brown.
Oh man, that's great. Now we know that Kamala Harris actually did go down on Willie Brown.
No, Kamala.
But here's the thing: is listen. I tell my kids, like, do not believe
really
anything. Don't believe anything that you see on or read on social media because it's all bad.
You fooked that. Please go to our Discord and send me that TikTok. Okay, I really need to see that. I need to read the comments like right now.
What's funny is like, and this is like very frustrating for me. It's like I see both sides lying constantly, like obviously lying. Like for against Trump, it's like he's all for Project 2025, right? It's he's going to put it in motion. He's going to implement it, right?
And Trump's
but
like,
the guy's
I've never
already
heard
said,
of
like,
Project 2025. I just avowed President.
What he said was, he's like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I mean, you could look on his face that he's obviously totally confused by what's happened, but they've grabbed this narrative and they've locked him into it. Like, and then his side also does the same thing when it comes to so many different things, but they take a piece of what somebody's done or said and they try to make it. I hate that. It's
like the horse story with Walls recently. Although I did find out there's actually truth to that, and it's
the horse story. Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about the member section, but there's a we cannot talk about it here. It's just too vulgar. But there's a story involving Walls and horses, and it's like that can't be real. You're like, holy shit, that's real.
And that's the thing is it's hard to know what is real is not. So what's happened is because people have limited time. I mean, listen, you're just scrolling to the next TikTok video, right? And so you're like, oh, do I believe it or not? Does it register within my
echo chamber
or not? And if it does, you believe it. And then you scroll.
Yeah, it's people aren't looking for information. Like a lot of people are now looking for confirmation. instead of information.
Or they're looking to be entertained, and along the way they're developing these, ideologies based on what they see. And this is what's happening to our kids and to some of us. I mean, listen, I'm a 51-year-old man. I have to fight to remind myself that to not get sucked into it. And I'm an old guy. Imagine what children and young people who don't have any mental strength like that to be able to do that. And they ain't got the time or the concern. You're just going to end up doing exactly what you're going to end up believing that Trump went down on Willie Brown. I'm just saying that's what you're going to believe. All right.
It's great. I really need to see that TikTok in the Discord, please. That's so funny. Michael Nemo for $5.
August. Oh, I'll do the member one after you. Go ahead.
Okay. Add a laugh track to the serious parts of City on the Edge of Forever.
Jesus Christ. No, Michael.
Come on.
No.
That would be funny. That would be funny. It would completely change the tone.
Yeah, it'd be funny now, like as a joke, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like the Big Bang Theory stuff. And we're in the members section, we're going to play some of these clips because I'm pretty sure they're copyright claim. When there's no laugh track, it's weird. It's like almost like a horror show. It's sad, even like depressing.
Well, yeah, because that's what they were made with the laugh. They made with the laugh track in mind. Thank you, Michael. That actually was hilarious. August TV 123 member for 3 months. We know it's been a lot longer than that, but thank you, Mike. August TV. Orville season 1 was more serious than Strange New World season 2. Fuck. Yeah. Dave Cullen had a good video recently about the dumbing down of Trek. Love Dave Cullen videos. The dude is Mr. Common Sense, him and Rob. But yeah, I got to tell you, yeah, I don't want to talk about Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds has me so upset.
That's
Strange
a weird
New
thing to say,
2,
though. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's true. Like the Orville season 1 was more serious than the latest stream of season of Strange New Worlds. That's sort of crazy.
Yeah, I think what makes me so upset about it is that season 1 had enough like hope for that what Strange New Worlds could be like as far as Trek, like it like got me hooked in a little bit. So
no matter what, yeah,
looking forward to watching season 2, and then I got wrecked.
That's what. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and the crazy parts of season 1 still bothered me, like how big the captain's chambers were, and there was a lot of things that like didn't make any sense. I'm like, oh, it's not really important, just let it go. I'm like, no, but I can't let it go because this is science fiction, right? It's supposed to make some kind of sense, and more importantly, it's Star Trek, so things have to make sense, and like the dimensions of this place make no sense. It's a tennis court in the middle of a ship. It makes no sense. I need things to make sense in Star Trek. Now, if you want to Doctor Who it and like explain away with some, timey-wimey nonsense or jimbo jumble or techno babble, cool. But you gotta at least do that. Don't just assume your audience is gonna buy everything you sell them. And I gotta say, the whole singing, dancing thing for season 2, oh, well, it's an anomaly that crosses, not remotely believable.
Why do it?
Let
me ask you a question.
It's such a weird thing to do.
Why do it? Let me tell you why. Because that's that's what they want it to be. And they use an excuse, this anomaly thing, to give it to do a show tunes episode.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyways, okay.
Sorry, I'm getting upset again. This is why I want to talk about stuff.
John Burns for $2. Watch After Hours. How to use simple math. Google it. I don't know what any of those means, but those are all good words. Thank you, John.
Watch After Hours. How to use simple math. Google it. You have to Google it. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
Watch After Hours. How to use simple math.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about this RFK Jr. and the bear story. Have you read about this?
I saw a headline for it, but it was too fucking weird.
He literally. No, it's
like isn't like a baby bear like dropped from
the. It's an insane story. Like it's insane. Like you guys, when I say insane,
else happening.
Like it makes no sense. The decisions that RFK made, And then all of a sudden a bear ends up in Central Park. And you're like, what? What is happening right now? Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that for sure. It's crazy. The bear story is straight up bizarre. Thank you, August. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
I want to say one thing. There's some comments here in the chat that talk about, listen, that old Yorkshire geek says something here. I'm keenly aware of Strange New World's problems, but I still enjoy the show. I want to be clear. I am totally cool that you guys enjoy this new Star Trek.
100%. I
think my problem is that the thing I love about Star Trek is what was in the old TV shows, the hope, the drama, that was what I loved about Star Trek. So because they've changed what I love about Star Trek, it's just not. So, but I'm not downing you guys for liking it. If you like it, that's fine.
No, you like whatever you like, but we're going to be critical of things that bother us for sure. Okay, that said, wait, one more super chat. John Burns for $2. Funny how RFK's approval rating went up after the bear.
That's just how people are. Like, oh my God, Bear RFK Jr. I'm voting for him. It's just
that's funny as hell, bro. Yeah, let's vote for this guy. Yeah, we're doomed as a society, and that's just it.
Feels that way.
Black pills for everyone. That said, we are going to be going to the members section where black pills are in a bowl on my desk, and I just munch on them like gum, like M&Ms. Come on over to the members section where the water is warm and the memes are plentiful, and we have a great time. We laugh about things. We talk about things we can't really show on the public side. We also look at some, content that we would be afraid to show on the public side. So I would love for you to come on over there where we could take our pants off, get nude together, and just enjoy some crazy.
I just want you to know I'm always clothed. Always.
I'm not.
And I believe that. Thank you guys. Appreciate you so much. And definitely come back next week. We'll be doing this again.
Wrong button.
Are you getting rid of me already?
No, this is a mistake. Guys, come on over to the members section. Click on the join button. You can do it. We'll see you there.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it.